Good afternoon. We'd like to welcome everyone to the study session for January the 13th. All of our council is present. The first agenda item on our meeting for today is to go through the agenda for our meeting later this afternoon upstairs. So council, please refer to that document. I know we went over this on Thursday. As of right now, there is nothing off of the consent agenda, but council, is there any item you'd like additional information on? Mr. Whitaker?
I have a question. The utility rates, when is that set? What's the date that, I know this is just setting the public record. What's the actual date that it would be setting the public record for that we'll vote on this?
This is setting January 27th as the public hearing date.
Okay. And will we be receiving like a 5-year CIP report before that date? Is that going to be on the agenda at some point?
Mayor, Councilmember Whitaker, all the information was reviewed in October that's related to the utility rate recommendations and ordinances before you.
So we don't have anything on schedule and before that date to do any CIP project 5-year?
Correct. CIP was reviewed back in the fall, and that information is available in Legistar, but no additional information would be added to this agenda item.
Yeah, but the one that we did in the fall, like that was called the 5-year CIP wish list. Is there going to be like an actual 5-year CIP on what we plan on doing over the next 5 years?
Over this, Mayor and Councilmember Whitaker, that would be part of the budget cycle. Over this next spring, we'll be reviewing the 5-year in total. So we'll bring the CIP forward, capital improvement program forward every year, but the utility, what was related to utilities was reviewed in the fall.
I just don't remember getting one last year. Like, so I guess the question is when we vote on the utility rate increases tonight, we haven't gotten an actual 5-year CIP forecast then as of last year.
So Mayor and Councilman Whitaker, there is an adopted capital improvement program. It is available on their website. So there is an adopted 5-year plan for all capital improvement programs that is available to all council members and public.
But is that the wish list or is that the actual 5-year CIP that we plan on implementing?
That is the actual 5-year CIP that we are using as a planning document. That planning document is also used within the forecast for the utility, for the enterprise fund, which the utility rates are part of.
Okay, great, thank you.
And just to be clear, on the consent agenda tonight is not raising rates, it's just setting the hearing date for the 27th.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if we were going to hear updated CIP forecast. I guess my issue is I don't know how we can determine where we want to set utility rates if we don't know what the 5-year CIP forecast is. Because when we had that meeting in the fall, we were told that was just a wish list of CIP projects. So my interpretation is that we haven't had a CIP, an actual 5-year CIP forecast as of yet.
Mayor and Councilman Whitaker, there is an adopted, so the council did adopt a capital improvement program in the spring, last spring, and that publication is available to the public.
Okay.
So that would be what would be in force at this time and what would be included in the forecast. So we did forecast for the enterprise fund, and that would include anticipated capital improvement projects and financing thereof.
And Mayor and Council, ultimately, every year and every capital project you approve, we go through the budget every year. We do the rate reviews every year. So we certainly have CIP forecasts, but ultimately the council has the final decision, both as we set the budget, as we present the CIP, as we present the operations and maintenance. So all those are included for council review, as well as each specific project as we come to council. So you'll have the opportunity to see all of that during any time during the year.
So to clarify, the CIP that we got in the fall is the most accurate CIP. Like that's how we're planning on moving forward with the next 5 years.
Mayor and Councilman Whitaker, that would be the plan that's currently underway right now.
So let's be careful. I don't want to be caught up in words and be held against it. The CIP is reviewed every year. The staff probably reviews it every month and every 6 months. It's a very dynamic document and plan because of the nature of the business we're in. So we'll be glad to bring to council a discussion about the CIP as we make decisions about projects, about any debt that we may have to issue for that year. And every year we come to council in the spring with our next bond issuance program, so we can have a discussion that will every project be the same? No. There will be allocations of different projects and priorities that come. We may have industries that show up and need to accelerate programs in our CIP. That's happened many times before. That's why we have Apple here, because we had the flexibility to accelerate projects in a very short time period. If you were to go back and look at the CIP before the 6 months before they showed up, it's different than what was actually executed. So we'll work with council in providing all the information you need to make the decisions during the CIP during the year.
Great, and I think obviously we can't bind future councils, so any CIP that we adopt, the next calendar year could be changed by another council, and that could happen in perpetuity every year. But that's, the CIP we adopted is the plan that's in place at this point.
Correct, Mayor. The capital improvement program is a planning document showing the needs going into the future and how we believe that we're going to be addressing those needs. And again, that is an ongoing living document. When we look at the utility rates that are being introduced here, the utility rate adjustments, that is based on a cash flow. That cash flow is attached to the report that's attached to these ordinances as well. So if you look at the council report at the end, it does have the cash flow statements. Those cash flow statements include both the anticipated revenues as well as anticipated expenses. Within those expenses include anticipated debt service, capital, and operations. And so those are all within those cash flows.
Well, okay, so let's tune in for January 27th, assuming that we go ahead and set that today at the meeting upstairs. Other questions about our agenda for upstairs, council? Okay. Hearing none, the next item on the agenda for this meeting is to acknowledge receipt of board minutes. Is there a motion to that effect? Thank you, Mr. Freeman and Mr. Thompson. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next item on this agenda is to hear reports on meetings and conferences attended. Had another busy week. Anybody want to start talking about what they've been doing? I've got a few things on my mind. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you. We had a great event out in the parking lot here on Friday where we broke ground on the ASU facility. So thank you again to everyone that was responsible for that event, but also thank you to everyone who's gotten us to this point for something I think is really going to be a very transformational project in our city. Also over the weekend, I was happy to support an event at Mountain View High School called the Running of the Bulls. It's a fun 5K, benefits some charities and some programs in the athletic department and the student council at Mountain View High School. So put that on your calendar if you haven't been doing that. That's a fun annual event. Councilmember Duff and I were at the Mesa Leadership graduation this weekend. Congratulations to those folks who are very busy but still agree to participate in that program and get some education and training in how to be effective leaders in our city. And then earlier today, I was happy to be at the kickoff for the Hacktivate Mesa program. I think many of us have been to this before. This is the high schools. There was twice as many high schools represented this year. Some really bright kids from Mesa are spending the next 2 days brainstorming and coding and looking for and we challenged them with some of the big issues in our city of homelessness and parking and all kinds of really issues that we grapple with as council members. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes out from what comes out of that. Some really smart high school students in Mesa that are meeting right now to debate how to solve some of our problems. So thanks to Mesa Public Schools and the city staff that helped to put that program together. Yes, Jen.
Well, I just want to reiterate my excitement on our groundbreaking at ASU on Friday. So we're on our way to having ASU here and also the City Center, the Park Plaza, as well as the Innovation Studios at Mesa City Center, which are the Innovation Labs, which would be addendum. So this is a huge undertaking, and it's going to really transform our downtown, give a lot of opportunities, and it's based on higher technologies the ASU is offering in their school of augmented reality, artificial intelligence, filming, gaming, a lot of things. So it's really going to set the tone for a creative economy for our downtown. And then on the Mesa Leadership class, I want to say thank you so much to the Mesa Leadership class of 2020. It might be as good as 2012 when I was in. They are doing a tremendous job at raising funds for Positive Cristo and helping with a little bit of facelift that they need in their location on Country Club. So thank you to all those in Mesa Leadership.
Thank you. Anything else you'd like to share with this council? If not, Mr. Brady, the next item is schedule of future meetings.
All right. Next study session will be Thursday, January 16th. And also this Saturday, we have the grand opening of another park. This will be the Signal Butte Park grand opening at Signal Butte in Ellsworth, so just east of our water treatment plant. That'll be at 9 a.m., so we invite everybody to come out to that grand opening. And then this Saturday, that evening, the same Saturday, is Spark at Dark. That'll go from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. at the Mesa Arts Center. So it's a free event. Invite everybody out to it.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much. Mr. Thompson.
Real quick, I forgot, we're having a ribbon cutting for the Signal Butte Park this Saturday at 9 a.m. So, you already said that? Perfect.
Okay. Thanks. Council, if there's nothing else, is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Luna. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. We are adjourned, and we will reconvene upstairs at 5:45.